Hello Internet, and welcome to the bonus video for Kirby Superstar Ultra. This isn't going to be entirely scripted, there will be scripted parts, but for the most part this is just going to be me playing the game and just seeing things that I haven't already shown in the Let's Play. Some of these I didn't know about before recording, some of them I did and I just forgot about. The only thing I know for sure isn't going to be gone over in this video is the sub-games. That will be gone over in a future video, and I mean like a distant future video. So let's begin. So, if we create a new file, you may know if you've played other Kirby games before, or just HAL games in general, like Super Smash Bros. Melee, or pretty much most of the Smash Bros. Series, that if you try to erase a file, the game will generally have some pretty funny text. If you try to do this in Superstar Ultra, using that as your context, I'm sure. Say goodbye to your save file! Yeah, there's not even funny text when you try to do it this time. It's just like, are you really sure you want to do this? And it means that this time. It's not going to ask, are you really, really, really sure? Like it usually does. That's why the 100% save file here is gone. I was willing to part with one of them since it was just my test playthrough and I have footage of the part that matters of that playthrough, which was the true arena. Anyway. Let's go through these one by one to see what they have that we haven't seen already. Spring Breeze. Nothing. We showed everything. Dynablade. Nothing. I showed everything. The Great Cave Offensive. There's one very small thing here. If you beat the Great Cave Offensive without any treasure, the credits are shorter. No shit. It doesn't have to scroll through all 60 of them. Gourmet Race. There were 2 people over the course of the Let's Play that I am rewarding with a copy of Garfield Kart. Mudfan managed to tie my time, which is honestly more impressive than beating it. And that one guy managed to beat my time, which isn't that impressive because my time wasn't that great. It's no tie, but I said what I said in the video. I owe him a copy of Garfield Kart on Steam. So, yeah, I'll be DMing you both on Discord at some point, and we'll get you those copies of Garfield Kart. Revenge of Meta Knight. I actually have to play the game to show you what I missed this time. And I need to remember what chapter it's in. This is the level directly after defeating Heavy Lobster and destroying both the wings. Once we get through all the dialogue, if we head down here, we can enter this yellow cloud with the 4 food things on it. Ah! Kirby's disappeared from the radar! You lost him? Find him! Do it now! He's hiding in the clouds, it seems. He'll come out soon. See, Meta Knight is nice and patient with Kirby. So you get your choice of Parasol, Jet, or Wing. And a free mini-boss fight against Chef, Kawasaki, and Bugsy. I actually didn't know this boss fight was here. I thought it was just those pedestals for abilities. Copy essences is what they're called. I'm actually doing very poorly here. I haven't actually played this game since recording the finale, so... yeah. Power's been out in half my room, so haven't had a lot to do. And there's 3 more things at the end and a Maxim Tomato, because I'm sure you need that. And that brings you right ahead to this part of the level. Alright, well, I didn't know that, but... yep, as far as I know, that is one of only 2 secret areas that I missed throughout the entire game. There's one more that we're going to be showing next. Next secret area is in Stage 2 of Illusion Islands. Want to make sure you grab Rock in this level. I didn't grab this on my first playthrough, which is the main reason I actually missed this secret area that we're coming up on. So we hit this peg, we can walk into this wall, where we get our technically first fight against Mr. TikTok. I said the first one was in Castle DDD because how are you supposed to know you can walk into that wall? I need to be very careful here because I did not do so hot getting up to this point. Please? Okay. This is why Rock isn't an ability I really used a lot throughout this Let's Play, is just because the bosses don't move a lot, and then you end up missing them, and you don't do any damage, and then you have to wait for them to move like a foot away from you so you can actually do anything. Well, of course I missed again, too. It wouldn't be my Let's Play without that. There we go. It had to happen eventually. Is it gonna restart me in this room? At least it restarts me in this room. Okay, I thought maybe the music notes would give me crash like he does, but no. At least he gives you a lot of projectiles to spit out. This is actually way easier without Rock. Alright. So if we head up here, there's some rocks. H, A, L. With a broom hatter on the very edge there. HAL Laboratories is the company that created Kirby. And in almost every Kirby game, at least at some point, there is a room that just has the HAL logo spelled out in blocks. Well, not the HAL logo. HAL logo is actually very different from this, but yeah, you get a free invincibility candy. It's not the most useful HAL room in the series. There have been significantly more helpful ones in games. Like, Planet Robobot is the one I can think of off the top of my head. But yeah, it's just a neat addition that's self-referential, and you can find it throughout various Kirby games. I don't know if there's actually a HAL room in the original Kirby Superstar. But while I was getting through the Illusion Islands to get to this point, I actually realized there was one more, like, secret room that I missed, so yeah, let's show that off now. To show off what I'm thinking of, we have to head to Aquarius in Milky Way Wishes. I don't know if I showed my mess up, so I'm going to specify it's in Milky Way Wishes just in case. On Aquarius, there's this cannon that I never showed off. It just leads you to a nice little area where you can get ice cream, a pumpkin, and a 1-up. There's no Copy Essences Deluxe or anything here, it's just a nice little area. I was gonna show this off after we first got Jet in Milky Way Wishes, but I completely forgot about it by then. While we're in Milky Way Wishes, this is also a good time to show something else off regarding, well, copy abilities, which is what Milky Way Wishes really has special about itself. If you press select while you have an ability, you get rid of the ability without creating a helper, and you get an infinitely more satisfying sound effect. I wish I'd known this throughout, like, the entire Let's Play, because I would have been using that instead of X and then just immediately killing my helper. Just listen to the sound effect. It's so satisfying. I'm pretty sure Meta Knight uses that sound effect when he gets rid of a helper as well, or maybe when he creates one. Next, I think we can all agree that I have severely underutilized helpers throughout this Let's Play. To the point where we haven't even seen some of them, outside of the Helper to Hero roster. I'm not going to be fixing that here, but I would still like to show off every single one, at least on the roster, tell you their names. I would say they'd give a fun fact about himself, but they can't talk. Knuckle Joe is the helper for Fighter Kirby. Also made an appearance as an assist trophy in Smash Bros. Brawl. Parasol Waddle Dee is the helper for Parasol, because Waddle Dee and Waddle Doo are the only characters that use parasols other than Kirby in this game. Chili is the one for Ice. We've seen Chili before. Chili actually helped quite a bit in Milky Way Wishes? Or Great Cave Offensive? Don't remember. I think Great Cave Offensive against Wham Bam Rock, maybe? Whatever. Blade Knight is the helper for Sword Kirby. Simirer is the helper for Mirror Kirby. Sir Kibble is the helper for Cutter Kirby. We actually did use Sir Kibble in the first episode of Superstar Ultra. Plasma Wisp is the helper for Plasma Kirby. Waddle Doo is the helper for Beam Kirby. Poppy Bros Jr. is the helper for Bomb. Gim, or Jim, is the helper for Yo-Yo. Birdon is the helper for Wing. Bugsy is the helper for Suplex. Biospark is the helper for Ninja. Bonkers. We know Bonkers pretty damn well. Burning Leo is the helper for Fire. Capsule J2 is the helper for Jet. I don't know why his name is Capsule J2. Sword Knight is a helper exclusive to Meta Knight. Rocky, helper for Rock, was a big help during my first Let's Play of this game. Wheelie, helper for Wheel, obviously, not as helpful without Kirby himself on top. And Tack. Tack is the helper for Copy, but because he is so different from Copy Kirby, I feel we should go through the helper to hero as him, at least do a few bosses. So as you can see, Tack has an extremely high jump, and if we check his moveset, use a strange light to analyze and then copy foes' abilities. Might you learn weird ones? Yeah, Tack doesn't do that. He can steal, he can hold B and release to do a Cap Magnum, he can discard a copy ability, he can hide. Maybe he can steal abilities then. I actually haven't played as Tack since before my first Let's Play of this game. Usually you're just gonna use Helper Magnum. He does have a perfect guard, which is to say attacks literally can't hit him while he is guarding, which makes it very similar to Rock Kirby in that sense. As you can see, it functions identically to Rock Kirby, where they just go right through him. Can't really steal any abilities from Wispy Wood, so I guess we aren't going to see what Steel does here. But conveniently, we get the mini-bosses as the very next one. Let me check again. B to Steel, hold B and release for Cat Magnum. I guess you can't steal. I'm pretty sure the way it works is, like, when he's a helper against a normal enemy, maybe in this one, because Krakow can spawn Waddle Doos, maybe it just doesn't work against bosses. No. Huh. That's weird. Whatever. I guess Tack just has a completely unique moveset then, because he can't even do it against Waddle Doo. But then what does it mean by discard copy ability? Yeah, I don't know, honestly. I don't know what the deal with Tack is, but he has a completely unique moveset, so I guess I've shown that off at least. On a side note, since we just did Helper to Hero, if we go to the theater, there is a cutscene above 0. 1. Above 1. This is cutscene 0, which you get for beating Helper to Hero as every single helper. What is this hidden cutscene that you get for doing this? It is the intros to each of the games that were in the SNES version of Kirby Superstar as they appeared in the original Kirby Superstar. Here we get to see the original sprite animations that were used in that game, including the original sprites, unfortunately. These aren't remakes of those cutscenes with the DS sprites. They are just the SNES cutscenes. It's a cool enough bonus, I guess, but that means you have to play through Helper to Hero 20 times, like a few times as abilities you aren't even comfortable with. It's debatable if it's really worth it, but it's like, it's not hurting anybody, and it's not like this game didn't already have enough content. So when we were fighting Mark Soul, I mentioned that we had seen his face before. Well, here's what I mean. Pay close attention to marks in this cutscene. Did you notice it? He becomes Mark's soul minus the wings for just a split second before he achieves his true form, which hints that Mark's soul is his real true form. I'd also like to bring up the Mark's boss in Smash Bros. Ultimate for just a second, because I've talked about it a lot. These two attacks here are what I mean when I said Sakurai was probably talking about Smash Ultimate. Yeah. I don't know why they decided having his eyes go pure black or trypophobia inducing was a good idea for Smash Ultimate, but he's definitely scarier here. Next up, some little bits about copy abilities. I did a horrendous job showing how some of these abilities work, so here's a list of some of the ones that I need to show in better detail. The theme of the day seems to be things about copy that I never showed. If you use copy on a Scarfy, you get Crash Kirby. This is the only way to see that Scarfies can give you Crash, because you can't suck them up. If you try to suck them up, then they go into their demonic, terrifying form. Like this. So, yeah. Thank you to the commenter on screen for showing me this. I'm sorry I don't remember your username off the top of my head. Using Stone Kirby, it's possible to see multiple cameos that are from different games, just in general. Some Kirby, some otherwise. First, that's just a wait. That's not a reference. The man of your dreams and mine, but not mine. Kirby. Don't know what this is. It's just a block with a star, I think. The classic rock. A fist. Kabu? Maybe? Ku from Kirby's Dream Land 2. Kine from Kirby's Dream Land 2. That's not Rick. Mario, which is the rarest one. It's just a golden Mario. And that was Rick, which, again, I wish I had shown for more than a second. A brick block, which again, I wish I had shown for more than a second. That is from Mario and New Super Mario. Mount Fuji, which, again, wish I showed for more than just a second. And since my thumb is getting tired and I don't want to keep mashing B, the other ones that I didn't actually get to show up are HAL Laboratories logo, which is known as the Dream Hatcher, which I found out while researching for this, that the HAL logo has a name. Samus Aran, apparently specifically for Metroid 2, according to the Kirby Wiki. And Thud from Kirby Canvas Curse, which might have appeared and I just didn't notice it. But also I have no idea what Thud from Kirby's Canvas Curse is, so maybe it didn't. Maybe it did. I'll have no idea either way. Wheelie Rider Kirby can shoot stars in multiplayer only that hit like a goddamn truck. They do as much damage as any star Kirby shoots from his mouth, and they can be rapid-fired, so yeah. Thank you to Master Starman for allowing me to use his footage. Jet and Suplex Kirby are both abilities that I slept on really hard, but they're really good with some specific abilities. If you go near a foe, I mean really near, like near enough that they can freeze you apparently, that attack there does so much damage if you manage to like grab a star or something during a boss fight. That is an incredible attack that I definitely should not have been as hard on. I'm gonna be completely honest, it was a little more justified for me to be mean to Suplex Kirby because this is its strongest attack that comes from Kirby himself. Couldn't even one-cycle the Magician. Now he definitely can't because he's doing a guard spell. Okay, so if we grab the wind here, not only are we invincible, we can't get hit by any of the other wind, but I grabbed some wind too early, so I wasn't able to throw it back at him. Can you do the wind again, please? Okay. I'm gonna throw that wind, grab this one. Okay. So we didn't get to show how much it did, but trust me when I say hitting enemies with things that they shoot at you with suplex does a lot. Even if I'm too goddamn bad at the game to show it off. I think my issue with these is I just assumed they were just a charge attack for Jet and Suplex having a weak downward aerial, and just assumed there were no redeeming qualities as a result, but that's not correct. There's redeeming qualities to every ability. So I did technically show everything that Beam is capable of in episode 1, but also I said it was a good ability that I was going to use for like half of Spring Breeze that I didn't use for half of Spring Breeze. And also, I don't think I used it a single time after Spring Breeze either. I promise it's a good ability, I just, like... there was always access to better things. Except for the times there weren't and I used Parasol anyway or something. I swear to God, it's just... Beam is not bad, I swear it's a good ability. I just didn't run into any particular reason to use it past Spring Breeze. So... I decided to make a tier list of all the abilities in Kirby Superstar Ultra. Keep in mind, I am not a speedrunner of this game. I'm not particularly knowledgeable on all this game's mechanics, as can obviously be seen by the fact that I just had to show 5 abilities in a bonus video that I didn't go over properly in the main Let's Play itself. These are based completely on my opinion and how fun I think it is to use these abilities. Plasma and Hammer are in actually busted tier for obvious reasons. Stone is an S because pure invincibility, that's great, but it's rough when you use Stone on a boss or mini-boss that just refuses to move afterwards, resulting in you taking damage because that AI got tired of walking. Fighter is an A tier because it's just an all-around solid ability. It has so many options for attacking enemies and it looks badass. There are a lot of B tier abilities. Sword is at the top of B tier because it's just kind of worse Hammer, if that makes sense. Its attacks are all very similar, but they lack the damage and invincibility frames of Hammer, and the main way it makes up for that is Sword Beams that you can only use at full health. Yo-Yo is a great ability for looking cool, and it really comes in handy with some switch puzzles since it doesn't know what walls are. Otherwise, though, you'd be better off using Plasma just based on damage alone. Fire's in B tier because it's just okay. There's not anything Fire is particularly great at other than moving fast, but that's literally the entire reason other abilities like Wheel, Jet, and Wing exist, so yeah, it's just okay. Beam and Ninja fall into the same category as Fire. They're situationally useful and they're decent enough for taking out enemies, but they're outclassed by Plasma and Hammer. Ice and Mirror are both in C tier because they're pretty much just worse variants of other abilities. Ice is worse than Fire and Mirror is worse than Beam. Jet and Wing are in C tier because, as I said before, their primary purpose is navigation. They don't have many hard-hitting attacks, although both abilities do have the ability to throw stars into mini-bosses for significant damage, similar to Suplex. And Suplex is in C tier because it's just straight up not fun to use. It can be cool to see a huge amount of damage from throwing stars into bosses, but outside of that, Suplex is just really boring. Cutter, Parasol, and Bomb are all in D tier for the same reason. A lack of utility, and what little utility they have is easily outclassed by other abilities. Parasol's slow fall effect is disadvantageous more often than not, and Bomb just isn't fun. Just like Suplex. Wheel falls into D tier because it's a victim of better alternatives. Wheel can go really fast, but Wheelie Rider outclasses it in every single way, especially in multiplayer. Wheelie Rider wasn't on the tier list I used, but it would go in high B, low A tier easily. Copy and Sleep both have no reason to exist. Copy is only useful in the first level of Milky Way Wishes, and Sleep is pretty much only used to its greatest effect in the Old Tower. And all the screen nukes are ranked together because they do the same thing and are really good. Cook would probably be above the rest if it was on the tier list I used, just because it spawns healing items as well. There are a few unused rooms in Kirby Superstar Ultra. 2 of them are leftovers from cutscenes from the SNES version, but they're never seen because they were replaced with the CG ones. And one of them is a debug room with a completely unique tile set never seen anywhere else in the game. Other than that, though, we really don't know a lot about the development of Superstar Ultra. This was a transitional time for the Kirby series where Shinya Kumizaki had just become the director of the Kirby series, so it's no wonder why they gave him a remake as his first project. It's just a shame that so little actually remains of any earlier versions of the game or of its development. And with that, that's everything in Kirby Superstar Ultra. Other than the sub-games, which again are going to get their own video at some point. I need to be able to record with a friend in order to make the video, so it may be a while, but I promise it'll be out before the end of 2022. Maybe. Before ending off here, I'd like to thank Cosmo for agreeing to test view the first episode of this series to assure that the layout wasn't too distracting or anything. I'd like to thank that one guy for his honest opinions on the logo. I'd like to thank Aiden for probably something or other, I don't know. And I'd like to thank Master Starman for not only teaching me how powerful Plasma Kirby is, but also for giving me permission to use his footage of Wheelie Rider Kirby for this very bonus video. And last, but certainly not least, I'd like to thank you for watching. It's no secret that rebooting this channel was a terrifying prospect for me. It was always a thought in the back of my head, but I kept dismissing it based on some misguided notion that I have to finish everything I start. So yeah, I was scared when I finally snapped and decided to scrap all those old Let's Plays. But in the end, I'm glad I did it. Making this Let's Play has been such a fun experience, and it's truly made me excited to be making Let's Plays again. And that's largely thanks to your support and your comments. As for what's next, well, let's just say big reveals often come during parties. See you guys next time for something else.